Hello, and welcome to this session. I'm Andrew Hammond, Senior Director of Learning Community here at Discovery Education, and I'm honoured to talk to you today about Discovery Education Espresso and some of the features recently added to your service, as well as to preview some of the exciting new tools that are coming this summer as well. And whether you're watching with us live or on demand, I hope that by the end of this session, you will be as excited as I am about the potential of Espresso in your classroom. So, many of you are familiar with Discovery Education, of course, and whether you're new to Espresso or have been using the resources for years, you've come to know and trust our high quality teaching resources. But our engaging media isn't the only thing that makes Discovery Education stand out, we think. It's our commitment to creating a community for teachers and bringing even more real-world applications into your classroom. At Discovery Education, we're trying to take more of what pupils are interested in outside the classroom and give teachers the ability to bring it within the walls of their room in a safe and vetted environment. For example, taking pupils into some of the world's most iconic locations like the British Museum to learn about the ancient Greeks, the Viking city of Jorvik, or even a trip inside a rainforest for rich and immersive learning experiences. No permission slips required. And of course, you, the educator, well, you're at the heart of everything we do here at Discovery Education. By equipping and empowering teachers, we enable them to deliver engaging, personalized instruction to every pupil and ensure that every pupil is invested in their learning experience. Whether you're a leader or classroom educator, everything we do is focused around providing meaningful experiences that instill a sense of curiosity and develop a love of lifelong learning. Discovery Education has always provided engaging content to support student learning, of course, from real-world video across all curriculum subjects and age-appropriate news to audio images and activities, all curated into channels that meet curriculum topics or topics of interest. And as many of you know, we've been working on updating the platform that hosts the Espresso service for some time, so that we are able to provide even greater support to our schools with the tools and functionality that allow you to create memorable learning experiences. This summer, we're taking another leap forward and giving you and your teachers even more ways to use that engaging content within Discovery Education Espresso. Here are the highlights that we'll be walking you through today. Updates to the functionality around videos with new workflows, making it easier for educators to incorporate into their daily learning activities. Brand new quiz functionality where teachers can ask questions, start discussions, or poll pupils even, including right within the video itself. And teachers can build their own interactive learning activities quickly with the new integrated activity templates in our embedded studio presentation tool. All of this gives your teachers the ability to do more with media right within Discovery Education itself. With these updates, Discovery Education provides the right content and the tools that your teachers need to engage every pupil and ensure they're invested in their learning. We support teachers every step of the way with ready-to-use activities, embedded professional learning resources, and access to a vibrant educator community too. And all of this fits into the systems you use every day, ensuring that teachers and students can access the digital world you are providing within your school. With these updates, we're wanting to become not just your trusted content partner, but also your trusted EdTech partner by providing all the necessary tools and features to create powerful and memorable teaching and learning experiences. As I mentioned, our content is probably what you know us best for, but we wanted to give you a little bit of a look behind the scenes and take a moment to talk to you about some of the newer channels we have in Espresso, highlight some of the exciting materials the team are working on, and provide you with some insight into how we decide which content to create and why we create it. So, without further ado, let me introduce one of our content specialists, Zoe Verrall. Zoe, over to you.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Yes, so we're going to be having a look at those channels that Andrew has just mentioned, and a bit of a rationale behind them. So what is the thinking that goes on into creating them? The main focus, and this is the part of the job I love, how do we engage pupils? So how do we make learning really, really exciting? And we can deliver that really well through channels because we've got the captivating videos that Espresso is really known for, and we can really build a story through all of the other related materials as well. So you've got interactive activities and text and audio, everything to really help get them immersed in the story of what they're learning about, really. And moving from, we don't want them to just be passive learners, we want them to be taking an active part in whatever it is that they're looking at the time. So let's start by, how do we find these channels, these collections, these stories, these little collages of different resources that you might want to use? There are a couple of different ways. Firstly, using the search bar. As you can see, it's always at the top of the screen there. So if you've even got a vague idea of a keyword or something that you want to learn more about, see what we've got around it, pop that in the search bar, and then you'll be able to filter. If you're specifically looking for a video or a very specific resource, then you can filter by that. Or if you want to see if we've got a whole collection, a whole channel around it, you can see that. You can even sort by most recently added. So if you just want to see what new stuff we've got in a space, then you can do that as well. If you don't have a specific idea, you just want to see roughly what we've got, it can be nice just to have a browse. So using the subject browse, you can look at the different subject areas. There will be channels, there are many channels in fact, that don't stick to just one particular subject area, because although the national curriculum is written like that and is very separate, the way you teach things in your classroom, it's often, there are different webs and different connections that actually match up what they're learning and actually make their learning a bit more meaningful. So by all means, go onto the subject browse page and see what we've got in these different areas to see what's most suitable and applicable for your class. So Andrew mentioned we were going to talk about some recently added channels and also some ones to come. This one is available now. So you might be aware that recently the European Space Agency was calling out for people to become astronauts. So they were recruiting new astronauts. So I think for lots and lots of people, for lots of children, they would leap at the chance to be like, oh yeah, I want to be an astronaut. What do I need? So you've already got that amazing buzz going on in your classroom, that like, oh gosh, how do I become an astronaut? So they can, within this channel, they can have a look at what life would actually be like, what would it involve to explore space. And then we've also linked in some different curriculum activities to make the most, to make sure that they're also using all of that excitement and enthusiasm to develop their skills in different subject areas as well. So really exciting channel there. Earth to Lunar is fantastic for all the, I'm sure working with children, you've all heard all the different, numerous questions that you get from young children. Why does this happen? Why does that work? How does this happen? So that is where Earth to Lunar usually starts. An episode of it will often start with Luna and her brother thinking, how does this work? And then they go through a journey of discovery where they might shrink down or turn into a different animal, or they might go off into space, and it really follows them through. And some of the things they learn about and they cover are quite complex and advanced, but it's done in such an accessible, engaging way that it makes it really, really suitable for particularly early years and Key Stage 1 pupils. But there's no reason why low Key Stage 2 wouldn't also get a lot of value out of it as well. And it doesn't feel as focused sort of learning, right, this is what we're learning about. It's a bit more fun and lighthearted, but there's a lot of learning they can gain from watching them as well. Ancient Greece is one we've been really, really looking forward to, and so thrilled that this is available now. Not only is it looked at a lot in school, obviously it's a key area of curriculum specifically on ancient Greece and learning about them, but also when creating content for it, we'll also look at, but why is it so important? Why do children learn about it? And it's really kind of to do with the legacy, in understanding ancient Greece. there's so much more we can understand about different periods of history. You know, their influence can be felt throughout so many different periods of history, including modern society and our culture. So really, really important that we can look at the reasons why children are learning about it and try and reflect that in all of our videos and activities and all the text that surrounds it as well, so that children are hearing the right kind of things, and from passionate experts as well who are excited to tell you more about their subject. Another recently added channel, I'm sure in classrooms everywhere there will be, you know, there'll be lots of children might just be chatting about it in the playground at the moment, but they will be talking about the Euros. So using that, again, that enthusiasm, that buzz that there is around it. And you as a teacher will be an absolute hero if you're like, right, we're going to learn about the Euros in class today. So this just channels that, you know, pun not intended, it channels that enthusiasm, that energy, and allows them to utilize it to develop those skills, whether it be in maths or geography and understanding those different countries, or literacy. So you can really, really use their enthusiasm and their passion in positive ways. Right, now for things that are not yet available, but they are coming soon. I'm super, super excited about this Foundation Maths channel that's coming up. It's really designed to kind of remove the fear in maths. I've always loved maths, but I know that there are lots and lots of people that I've come across that are like, I don't do maths. And I've always thought that's not a thing, that maths is everywhere. You cannot avoid it. It's part of everything you do. If you're not ducking down to get through a doorway, you've got an understanding of the different measures and the fact that you will fit inside. So you are doing maths all the time. So what we're trying to do through this sort of forest school maths channel designed for EYFS pupils is to explore maths and the creative and inquiring side of maths, where it's not just you're following a process, it's grouping things and sorting things and counting things and spotting things around you through that kind of more mathematical lens, if you like. So very, very excited about that, as you can probably tell. Around the world, we unsurprised to hear, is to do with geography. So we're going to have some different country profiles. Part of the rationale behind having these country profiles was also, one aspect of it was to incorporate aspects of maps and mapping, which I don't know about you, but when I was teaching geography, it could sometimes feel a bit dry. I have to drum up a lot of enthusiasm to get children to come with me on, you know, come on, maps and mapping, it's exciting, really it is. But I think that what it really needs is context. So by looking at maps and aerial views while learning it through the context of all the other interesting things you can find out about a country, for example, you know, what mountains has it got, what animals live there, what's the food like, what festivals does it have. So while you're learning about a country in all those different ways, give them that understanding of where it sits in the world and how they would get there, and you know, just gathering it all together in one place makes it so much more meaningful to them as to why they would need to know that. As you can see, it also includes different news stories that happen there. You know, I think sometimes when we learn about different countries in the classroom, they can be a bit sort of frozen in time. So I think having those video news stories really makes it super, super current and makes children realize just how relevant and fresh it is as well. And then also we have ancient Egypt. This was probably one of my favorite things to teach and to learn about, actually. Again, we've been asked for a while by teachers, you know, what stuff have you got on ancient Egypt? And we do have some content, but we wanted some really up-to-date, of the moment, this is ancient Egypt, let's explore all the stories to do with it. So this will be absolutely amazing. You can see takes place in a museum, much like the ancient Greece channel. I think this is really, really important as well, that children see not only experts getting excited about things, which is brilliant, but they kind of get to follow that line of historical inquiry where they're faced with artifacts and objects, and they go through that process of thinking like, okay, well, where does this come from? And they get to watch the experts sort of do a bit of a Sherlock Holmes number on the, there's this fairly boring looking object and, looks old and, there's not much about it. But suddenly they're telling you what all these different things mean. And it's like, oh, well, actually, clearly this means this. And you're thinking, wow, this object is so much more fascinating. And if I could learn to have that same approach as a child, sort of learning about stories and things that have happened in our past just from looking at one tiny object, then that's absolutely amazing. It's a bit like a superpower. So really, really excited for ancient Egypt. Again, that's coming soon. But even, you don't need to wait for all of these channels that you can see. There are, I think it's over 280 so far. So those include, as I mentioned before, those include the sort of topics that we know that you're always teaching in school, as well as the events or the things that just crop up where it's just really, really timely to be able to look at them and study them in school in a way that captures children's enthusiasm and really helps them to develop knowledge and skills that they need to in the future. Right, I'm now going to pass back to Andrew. We've had a thorough look at all these channels now.
Thank you very much. Fantastic. Really, really interesting. Some fascinating bits and pieces there. My goodness, there's so much. There's so much in the cupboard. So much to see. And thank you so much for showcasing all of that. And more importantly, the thought that goes into the content creation itself. I know you think, as a former teacher yourself as well, think so long and hard, don't you, about how it's going to land in the classroom, how it can have maximum impact on the learning. So I've got one quick question which I can't resist asking you, and it's a difficult one for you because I know you're very excited and motivated by all the different areas that you work in. But go on, what's your favourite channel then at the moment?
Oh yeah, at the moment is a good point, because I do change my mind probably every single day. At the moment, I think it's probably Second World War, just because we've got some really nice content that tells the story of some Polish squadrons, and it's something that I wasn't aware of before, so I think it's sort of quite new and refreshing, and it's a different take on it. So yeah, I'm going to go with that today.
Fantastic, brilliant. Well, for me, it's Vikings all the way. Actually, I love the Viking materials that we've got. I live on the east of England actually, and on the Suffolk coast, and yeah, we've got some amazing, really dramatic films to watch as well. Actually, sort of reenactments and things, and some cracking images and sound. So yeah, for me, it's the Viking channel at the moment, but I'm very excited about the Ancient Greece channel as well. But,
I know.
More on that later.
Can't wait.
Terrific. Thank you, Zoe.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks ever so much. So what we also want to do is provide tools to help you track the content, its impact on learning and evidence pupil understanding. We think it's really important to really understand how it lands in the classroom and how you can track the impact. So to talk through how we're making your lives easier, I'm delighted to introduce our head of content, Kristina Mjomark, and hopefully Kristina's there. And great to see you, Kristina. So I'm going to hand over to you, if I may. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much, Andrew, for having me. So yes, I want to talk a little bit about the tools and the features that are coming up now after all of those exciting content news and content updates. We're going to talk about how we can help you to plan and create and deliver lessons around videos more efficiently in the future. So what we're looking at here is our new video page that's coming out in August. Now, video is obviously a very powerful learning resource. I think it's our most popular resource type, and we have thousands of videos in Espresso, as I'm sure you know, all specifically written for the curriculum. But one question that we do get quite a lot is sort of, what's next? I found a great video, but what more? What more do you have? What do I do around it? So that's what we're specifically trying to help you with. If we scroll down on our video page, we'll see two really important updates, I believe. The first one is that you will have the context. You see here, you will see the channel that the video belongs to. So that will immediately give you the context and the curriculum area of the video. So you already know, if you found this video from the search, you will know that where it sits and how it relates to the curriculum. And also, as you'll see at the bottom of the page, more educational resources like this. So this means that straight from the video page, you will be able to find any interactive quizzes, any texts or worksheets or images or any other resource types that go together with this video for the same curriculum objective. So you can straight off this page, put together all the resources you need to plan a lesson or a series of lessons. So that's us kind of helping you with ready-made content. But really exciting update here is also how we can help you make your own. So we're looking at the video page again here, and this is an update to the way you can assign content to pupils. So already now, straight in the assignment, what you can do is provide your own context around the video. You can provide your own instructions to the pupil. So already as you assign it, you can tell the children what to do with the video, what you want them to get out of it. Secondly, as you see at the top here, there's an area called Build an Activity. Now this allows you to create either your own slideshows using the video, an interactive slideshow with our studio tool, or you can create a video quiz. And we're going to dive into that a little bit more. So this is what it looks like. So with video quiz, you can create your own questions based on a particular video. There are 3 question types to use with this. There's poll, there's open answer, and there's multiple choice quiz. So this means that you can check children's knowledge before the video. You can check their understanding during the video because the questions are placed along the timeline of that video. And you can ask what they have learned after watching the video. Now, this video quiz can be played live in the class, or it can be assigned to pupils so they can take it at their own pace. But that's not all the new quiz functionality that's coming. We are now also providing you with the opportunity to build your own quizzes that are not necessarily tied to a specific video. So as you see, these are all the different types of question types that you're offered if you just want to start building a quiz. There's short open answer where the children just type in an answer. There's polling, multiple choice and multiple select questions. And for me, quite excitingly, draw, annotate, and audio. So this means that children can draw on you upload perhaps an image as part of a question, and children can draw their answers, circle things, etc. on that image. They can annotate and label a picture, or they can record their own audio responses to a question. So this, I think, gives you a range of opportunities and lots of flexibility in how you want to assess children's understanding. And for instance, if you're, say, teaching early years and maybe children aren't, their literacy skills are only emerging, using recorded responses, for instance, so children drawing their answers rather than having to type or read to select an answer, I think will be very, very powerful. And for you as a teacher, of course, you can monitor children's progress and their scores throughout the course, throughout the activities. So this is the dashboard that you will see, and it's got 3 simple views. The first one, report view. So here you can see in a quiz that you're running or that you have assigned, you can see an overview of all the children, how they've done and what they've answered on each individual question. We also have a question view, so you can sort of dig into a particular question and look in more depth what each child has answered. And finally, you'll have a student view where we can really look and see what each individual child has done overall and track their individual progress. And all these results that can be downloaded into CSV files, so you can analyze it further. You can manually upload it to other grading software that you might be using as well. So this really helps you to identify any gaps, misconceptions, so that you can address those. Maybe you can assign resources for pupils to recap. You can adapt your lessons to cover areas that the whole class might need to revise again. So it just gives you really that great view and quick ways of actioning any issues that you're finding. So yeah, Andrew, that was a quick run through of our quiz, and I just wanted to ask you sort of what you think, what are you most excited about with all of that?
Well, gosh, there's so much. I think this is a real game changer now, actually, in terms of tracking the impact of your teaching, you know. And I think were I still a teacher, I'd love the fact that I can now track each individual pupil's knowledge and understanding. So, you know, identifying little gaps through the quizzes in and misconceptions and things, and then literally at an individual pupil level, and then assigning them one or two little bits and pieces from Espresso. Maybe it's another video to watch again, or a piece of reading to do to consolidate or reinforce. So I love that. I think that's a game changer. With the individual logins, that's obviously what you can now do. So that's my favorite bit at the moment. I wish I could use it.
Yeah, I think I saw a teacher here in the chat who mentioned phonics as their favorite channel already. Yeah. And I'm already thinking about this in terms of phonics, for instance, right, with the audio responses that you can set. You know, you can set words for children to read in, and you can really easily listen whether they can sort of read and say the phonemes, for instance. And if you find any gaps, just assign a video that deals with that particular sound, for instance. You know, it's very really fast and efficient way to work, and so I'm really excited about that.
Quite right.
Right. So moving on from the quiz, I also want to talk about teacher support. So, as you know, one of our main goals is support you as a teacher every step of the way by connecting you to other teachers, providing inspiration with how to use our resources, and any support materials that you need, any guides, to ensure that you always get the maximum value out of your Espresso subscription. So in July, we're going to consolidate all of our teacher resources into one specific area that's really easy to find. And so here you'll have our popular spotlight on strategies, which are quick tips for building meaningful lessons with any media. You'll be able to connect with other teachers through our events. You can hear what other schools are doing through our school spotlights, and you can find out everything about the sort of features of the platform and of Espresso, so things like the things that we're talking about today. But don't forget that you also have a wealth of teacher guidance that are sort of that specific to the subjects and the topics of the curriculum. So these sit in the specific channels. So this one that we're looking at now, for instance, which is Rivers. So this is a teacher guide that tells you about the channel, about the resources that we have available for teaching this particular topic, the curriculum links and key vocabulary that goes along with this topic. And it divides the resources into subtopics so that that gives you tips and ideas and help with your planning of the entire topic using our resources. We also have lots and lots of ready-to-use instructional activities in the platform. So this is calendar picks, one of our most popular areas actually right now. So these ones, these look at thematic days throughout the year, special events, etc., and gives you suggestions for resources to use and ways to mark different occasions. This one, for instance, very current, of course, Pride Month. So as you can see, it tells you a little bit about what Pride Month is, why we celebrate it, how it started, and it gives you resources and ideas specific to each key stage. These have been built in our studio tool, and that's important because it means that you can easily make a copy of this board yourself. You can edit it and adapt it. You can even mix it, upload and mix it with your own resources to kind of create your own teaching sequences that you save and come back to year after year. Daily news, somebody mentioned as well, I think that news was, perhaps it was the same teacher actually like phonics also said they love the news, which I think is great. As I hope you know, we deliver news, we have daily news for PQ Stage 2 and then weekly news for the younger children, and that comes along with a news quiz that you can assign to pupils, as well as a news hunt that you can play together in class. So here we give also some instructional support on how to different ways of working with the news, including how to help children develop their literacy skills whilst working with the news. And our learning adventure is a new feature that came earlier this year. It's new for this platform. And this is basically a learning journey that helps your pupils really demonstrate not just their knowledge of the particular topic, but also their more overarching subject skills like historical inquiry, scientific inquiry, really, and take different challenges that they really explore, think about, and demonstrate learning in different ways, whether it's through writing, through images that they upload, etc. And again, these are built in Studio, so you can take the idea of a challenge, you can choose some resources, you can adapt it in different ways to suit different children's needs. So again, really flexible and a way for you to differentiate and adapt the content to suit your pupils' needs. Then we have Game Zone, of course, an old favorite, I think, or a classic favorite in Espresso, which is some of our hand-picked best interactive games, which is aimed for self-directed learning for children who might have finished their tasks or need a little bit of a treat or fun time, or just the opportunity to spend some time on the computer, practice some skills. And finally, these are our new ready-to-use activity templates that are coming in August. So we talked about the spotlight on strategies, a really, really popular area. These are instructional strategies, research-based, that help you work with digital media in an effective way and build lessons around them. So now through our studio tool, you can access these as ready-made templates and just use them with any media that you have, whether it's your own or anything that you have found in Discovery Education Espresso, and just combine that media with that strategy and quickly have a ready-to-made lesson. And that's where I'm going to hand back to you, I think, Andrew. So thank you so much for listening to me. And I'm going to ask you again about what you are most excited about with all of this.
Oh gosh, I mean, I don't know where to start really, but I think maybe this might be similar to you, but I think the ancient Greece resources that have been, you know, eagerly anticipated and long awaited. I think that's a really exciting area of content that I think is going to be so exciting and engaging for the children to watch, and enjoyable for the teachers as well to watch. So I'd go for that. I think would be my most. What about you? I mean, how on earth can you decide? Because there are so many different things happening. But
yeah, it's really a lot coming and a lot happening for me as a content creator as well. And for me, I'm really excited about these tools with the quizzes and with the studio, and the ability that teachers will now have to actually contextualize and adapt the content to their own needs, because I know that we know how hard it is to really make something that's perfect for everybody. Everybody has their own take on things. Everybody has slightly different needs. But now I think we can take the content that we make and you can really just tweak that to make it perfect for you, while allowing all children really to access the same resources. But you as a teacher now have the power in your hands to make sure that it's accessible to any children at the level that they need. And I think that is really exciting.
I think that's the key piece. You just said it. The teachers have the power in their hands. We are enabling them to be the film director in the room, aren't we, really? We talk a lot about storytelling and film directing, and with all these resources at your fingertips, I think you can curate and craft some really interesting learning experiences quickly. Brilliant. Thanks so much, Kristina, for joining us today. I know you're busy. Wow, what a lot of updates coming this summer. And of course, you've seen that some of these resources are already available to you if you want to get a head start over the summer months. And of course, we want to make it as easy as possible for your pupils to access the platform. Therefore, you can easily generate QR codes for quick pupil access to Discovery Education. And we've also, we have an emoji password. This would be very useful for me, I think, really. I'd prefer that. An emoji password option, which can be set upon request. For more information on both of these options, please visit our help center. You can see the URL. And one more preview, as part of our updates, you'll soon be able to bulk issue your pupil QR codes, saving even more time than doing it individually one at a time as you prepare for the new school year in September. So I think that's a terrific advantage as well, to do these things very, very quickly, which is great. Again, saving you time and maximizing the time you spend in the classroom teaching rather than on planning and admin. So of course, the question on everyone's mind is what's next? Well, we're just finalizing our schedule of those brilliant Tuesday tutorials for after the summer, where we will continue to walk you through each of these updates in more detail. If you've not registered for any of these before, I highly recommend those Tuesday tutorials with my colleague Chris and to your colleagues. So do register. They're weekly, short, digestible professional development sessions designed to help you get the most out of the Discovery Education services that you subscribe to. You can find out more on our events page. So worth seeing those, about 15-20 minutes, no more than that. And they really help you to get the most impact, the most value out of this brilliant service. Great. So I wanted to end by thanking everybody for watching our preview event. Thanks to my colleagues, to Kristina and to Zoe for joining us today and for sharing some of the work that they're so motivated by, as am I. So I hope this has been useful for you. and I hope you're as excited as we are about these enhancements that are coming soon. Thanks so much. Thanks for watching.